Good afternoon all, CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, September 29th, looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. I kept ES and 1s for a specific purpose to show you what emotional trading does to price and to a market. And boy oh boy did we have emotional trading today. First let's go, we're going to recap all these charts at the end of this video. Righty ends with just an afternoon rally high in F, and that's it, okay? NQ ends with a double distribution day down in the day's high and low. They never failed yesterday's. So yesterday's trend day up was in D. Today's trend day down held in D. Very interesting. We'll see if which one of these get taken back next week. As far as we go, we end with a double distribution day also, and value, which was higher to start with the gap, ends overlapping to lower. So we didn't get unchanged value. We went overlapping to lower. So that's at least 3 weeks where we haven't had one day of unchanged value. We either been higher or lower. Really amazing. Not a good quarter for the market as we close down. Just under, I think, 4% or something like that. I think we were down like 443.28 was SPY's close last. 443.28 and we closed at what? 427. So 1% is $4, 4.812. So about just under 4% for the quarter. Good volume again. We might possibly crack into the top 10. We have to 112 million. We're at 105 with the after hours. I had a good day and a good week. However, I took one trade in the afternoon. I'm going to tell you why in a second. Believe it or not. But I made 15.5 points in ES today, 89 on the week. I made 40 points in NQ today, 99 on the week. So I'm happy. I got biased, which kept me out of a lot of trades. But thank goodness my bias didn't hurt me. And what do I mean by that? Well, we know short covering makes a market weaker, but the market's still very short, and I didn't think yesterday and today's gap higher was enough to alleviate a lot of it. So I didn't think the gap would hold because, once again, only 10 out of 50 upside gaps have held this year. That's only 20%, okay? But I did not think we would go and rip trend down and have a triple distribution day until late when we took back the third distribution. That I did not think would happen. So it kept me out of some trades, of a lot of trades actually. We do hold trend down, so that's 34% of the time we've held trend days down. That's out 30 out of 88 this year. So early on we gapped higher. Again, that's a sign of emotional trading. I actually took a short right before the opening to see if we front run the overnight high. We got it, but then it came in. I made a couple of points on it. Then I started looking long, okay? I started looking long because we had gap, we had value, and we had indices. So I just a couple small scalps in A period on the long side, in ES, in B period, and in C period, okay? So at that point, I was up 10 points in ES, but then once B took out C, even though I took a long in C, once C started going back up, I'm like, things might have changed here. We filled the gap. It looks like they might go for the overnight low. We couldn't get back to the opening. We lowered the volume POC and POC right away. So I took a short in C then, and I started looking for shorts. I was short in C at the end. I was short in D in ES. I took a short in NQ in D period to get the IB low. Made nice on that, 22 points. So I had a really good morning, okay? Then E period starts. Remember we talked about nuances? Talk about a nuance, my friends. Couldn't get 4 wide here. Look at that. Couldn't get back to, forget about getting 5 wide, 5 for 5. We couldn't even get C's low to get 4 wide. Nuance, right? And in NQ, we didn't fill the gap till E period. The gap was still holding, and they had still a clearly higher value. So that was a nuance. But again, I wasn't looking for this to happen. Now, should I have? I mean, it's, I said inside of yesterday's range there wasn't much to lean on, so maybe I should have. I also always say once you get into M's range a lot of times, you'll trade the whole thing. Well, we certainly did. So there was signs there that I should have taken to heart, but I was kind of biased that we would not hold trend, and we don't know if trend's going to hold until F period starts. So even though E ripped down really heavy, now yeah, I could have taken some shorts on the way down, right? I didn't. But even though E ripped from 51 and a quarter to 38 and a quarter, I mean that's 13 handles. Until F period starts, we don't know if it's going to hold. Now it did hold, but look, F open never took out E's low, and look how close we got to filling it. So that was even confirming my slight bias that we would fill single prints. I also thought we would trade back and forth through 43.50 for a good part of the afternoon. Remember, it was a very visual point. Well, yesterday we blew through to the upside, okay? Then L&M came up to it and failed, and today we blew right through to the downside. So we never spent any time there for these past 2 days. So, but my bias was kind of getting confirmed with F not taking out E's low, getting back to 43.50. Now, I didn't think we'd go make a new high on the day. I did not. Even though we had the overnight high, that's another thing that was kind of in my head. I didn't think we'd go make a new high, but I thought we could fill the singles. And then I was looking to short against yesterday's high and use that as my out. So that's why I was slightly biased. That was absolutely wrong. Now, the good news is I didn't take a long. The bad news is I didn't benefit when we did come down and G started ripping. Okay, my fault. Now, I definitely missed shorts in E, F, and G with that little bias. I did take a short in MQ and I period for 18 points, and that was my only trade of the afternoon, which put me up 40 on the day. Then when we were down here making new lows and not getting much, I was like, are we going to go 4 distributions? K really had a chance, but K briefly took out the day's low and then came up. I was actually considering long in K in ES and in NQ to stop the one-time framing. And here's the reason I didn't. After missing all those shorts all afternoon, if I had taken a long in K to give back my day, I would have been furious at myself, right? I'm not saying that's a good reason not to take the long, but I would have been kind of ticked off at myself. Again, I think I see the market well. Today was tough. I got a little biased, but once it started going down, I was like, I'm not looking for longs now. Okay, doesn't mean I was going to short it, but I didn't. That's my favorite type of day. But there was mixed MGI. We still had overlap on a higher value. We still had the indices that we were up on the day. Not a lot at that point, but we were up on the day. Volume POC was all the way up at 65 until not 65, 64 until late in the day where we brought it down. And I mean late in the day, like with 2 minutes to go. Now I know TPO was coming in a couple of times. So a lot of mixed MGI. You look at a day like today and say, my goodness, I should have crushed them, right? And I'm sure all of Twitter did, right? They crushed them on shorts in GH and I, and then they crushed them on longs in KL and M. The reality of it, okay, I tell you the truth here, what I did, what I didn't do, why. The reality is, for every person that's telling the truth on Twitter, 1,000 aren't. Just keep that in mind. Just please keep that in mind. So if you didn't trade much, don't feel bad. This was a difficult day to decipher once G took out E and F slow, as far as I'm concerned. So it wouldn't get bent out of shape if you didn't do much, okay? Plus it was the end of the quarter. Now, as far as destinations, we have single prints on the upside, 429.76 to 93. And then we have today's high, 431.85. And then today's low is 425.91. In ES, single prints are at 50, up to 51.50. Today's high is 71 and a quarter. And for the downside, we have a low of 43.11 on the nose. So 43.11 and 43.01 are our two next lows in ES. Nice, clean, round numbers, right? All right, let's go to charts now and break them down. So we'll start with righty, like we always do. So the monthly in righty is balanced. But look what's happened, right? Even though it's been balanced for almost forever, from May of 2022, look how you could have made some money on this. We just missed the balance high in July of this year, okay? We missed it by $2, $3, whatever. But it's a monthly, so you can. It doesn't mean you have to get that close to it. So when that missed a decent risk-reward trade, even though it was one time framing up, might have been a short in August against July's high to see if the balance held. Well, it certainly did. And from August high of 197, so from 198, once we took out last month's August low, look where we are, 174. That's a $24 move. Balance rules. You fail at the upper end of the balance, you roll over to the bottom. Now, we haven't gotten anywhere near the bottom of the balance. The bottom of the balance is rounded out to 163. We got down to 174. Are we going to go test it? I don't know. It's possible. Right now, it's just pure balance. And it was an inside month coming down, inside month down this month for IWM. Okay? So it got paid very handsomely. But for all intents and purposes, it's still just all balance. But look at how that balance rules worked. Weekly, down. One time framing down now, 4 weeks in a row. Okay? And the daily, believe it or not, I'm going to call these dailies up. Now, most people will probably disagree with me. I think, especially since they took out all of these previous 5 days highs or 6 day highs, I'm going to use it up. Quite simply, if we take out today's low on Monday, we're back to balance. I'll be on the same page as everybody else. So I'm going to give them a little due. They got into the gap a little bit. I'll call them up. If you want to call balance, I have no problem with that. So Russell is balanced on the monthly, down on the weekly, and up on the daily. Triple Qs, monthly, down. Okay, one time framing down, 2 months. Weekly, down. One time framing down 2 weeks out of a double inside week. And the daily, again, I'm calling it up. It took out all these highs, got into their gap a little bit. We take out today's low on Monday, right back to balance. So the monthly is down, the weekly is down, the daily is up in triple Qs. Now let's go to ES and SPY. Monthly is down, one time framing down 2 months. Next target would be June's low of around the 417 level. The weekly is certainly down also. One time framing down for 2 weeks out of a double inside week. Do you see how balance rules and inside week rules are powerful? Look at that. Talk about a swing trade. Now, I'm a daily trader, so I'm not going to take advantage of this. I try to take advantage of these 2 weeks being down by on each individual day. But man, if you're a swing trader and you came out of an inside week to the downside, right? That's 443. We'll round it out. And we got up to 445 the next week. If you say, okay, I'm going to short around, once we get back down below it, I'm shorting 443. And I'm going to use now 445 or 448 as my out. Look at how much you got paid. Same with NQ. Same with IWM. If you took the short, if you said, okay, I'm going to take a swing trade short. I'm shorting basically against July's high of 199. My out is above August of 22's high of 202. Say you're out at 204. You're going to give it $2. So that's a $5 risk. And look at the reward you got. Do you see how balance and inside weeks and everything else, especially for swing traders and longer term traders work? It's fabulous. So weekly is down in ES and SPY, and the daily, now we didn't get anywhere near the gap that NQ and righty dipped their toe in, but I was calling this a 3-day balance. So I'm calling the daily up, even though we didn't get near it. Okay? Now the 200-day moving average keeps going up. We're at 419. We're only $8 from it. We're closer to that, certainly, than we are the 20, which is $12 higher. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, we're not. I thought we were closer to it. We're $12 from the 20. And $9. I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. $8 or $9 from the 200. So we are closer to the 200. Are we going to go test it? It's possible. Now, one other chart I want to show you real quick. I know this video is long, but hopefully you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the webinar, whoever came. Once I get the recording from Terry, I'll let you guys and gals know, and I'll put it in Twitter. I want to show you Apple. Right? Apple, I said their next destination is 164.50. Okay? We got down this week to 167.62 and we bounced. Apple's not out of the woods yet. The monthly is down. The weekly is down. And the daily just came into balance. So I still think Apple has a good chance to, I didn't realize the 200's at 166. Well, I'm still going to say I think Apple tests that 200 and maybe dips below it and trades around that 164.50 level at some point. It all remains to be seen. But once we got below that 171.96 level that we talked about, we did get another $4 and change to the downside. We'll see if we get more next week. Rest up all. I hope you had a great week trading. Really appreciate you guys liking and subscribing to this video. It takes 2 seconds to hit the like button, so I'd appreciate it. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. $30 a month. We give a wealth of information in there throughout the trading day. Enjoy your evening and the weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.